What's up, everyone? I'm DJ Hamilton, and you're tuned into the DJ Sports Show, where we give you the latest, greatest, and most exciting sports stories in the world of sports, from interviews to having people's stories heard and told. This is the DJ Sports Show. Let's get it! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports Show. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button and share anybody you know who loves sports. Originally, I thought this was going to be me and Dylan, but we got a special guest here, man. We got Nicholas Mullick, NFL scout, writes for the Stadium Rant, joining us to talk the AFC North preview predictions before the 2025-26 NFL season. How you doing, Nicholas?
Oh, man. First off, it is so great to join you guys on this podcast. I got a lot of stuff I need to say about these football teams. And trust me, whoever's watching this right now, sit down, relax, have some popcorn, and enjoy the ride.
Hey, enjoy the show, man. That's what we do here. Yo, I always love the energy, bringing guests on, talking sports, even when I interview people, but talking sports, man, it's great, man. And I love, it's your first episode ever here on the DJ Sports Show and over 200 episodes I've done. And it's great talking to you, to the family, man. Welcome. So the first team, fellas, I want to talk about is the Cleveland Browns. We'll start with the worst team of the division of the AFC North. 3-14 last year. Yeah.
There's one team I think that might be worse.
The AFC North?
Yeah, and you guys might call me crazy on that, but we'll get there later.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that.
NFL scout, so
yeah. I want to hear his take because I have a unique take. NFL expert. Yeah. So Browns were 3-14 last year. They missed the playoffs. Some key notes I had. So Myles Garrett, they re-signed to that 4-year, $160 million deal because this was a guy who was very disgruntled before. He did want to leave the team, but once he got paid that money, he was like, I guess I'll stay here. They acquired a glut of quarterbacks: Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and drafted Shedeur Sanders. That's Dylan's guy. I know he did a deep article on my website earlier this year. Really, really well ingrained and informational article on Shedeur Sanders, I might say. They had a massive overhaul. They had a lot of overhaul in their coaches, 5 new coaches, including Christian Jones, who was with the Giants and Vikings, and Sanders Davis as offensive line coach. They had the worst offense in the NFL last year. This team finished last in both points per game, 15.2 points per game, and yards per pass, 5.9. And the question I have is really, will Shedeur Sanders, all that hype in it? He did do great in that preseason game. I watched a little bit of the highlights. He looked very comfortable in the offense and the sets, and I liked what I saw. But will the microscope of him and Deion Sanders, will that become a distraction for this team? Because let's be honest, this team doesn't really have a lot of expectations coming into this year. Nobody's expecting them to be a real playoff contender or anything of that nature. And some stat I saw is, according to Stats Muse, this team struggled to protect the quarterback. They placed 28th in QB sack percentage last year, second in total sacks allowed last season with 66, trailing only the Chicago Bears, who led the league with 68. So this is a team that has a terrible offensive line, and we know their quarterbacks they have, there's nothing to really be excited about. But when you have a porous offensive line to begin with as well, every quarterback needs a solid offensive line. The fact that this offensive line is pretty abysmal, I think this is a team that's going to be really bad coming to having a really bad 2025-26 season. I think they're going to be at the top of the draft next year as well. My prediction, 4-13, and they're going to miss the playoffs. I think this team will finish last in the division. Yeah, I think they're going to be just as bad, basically just as they were last year. So you guys give your takes now. I think this is going to be a really bad team.
Well, I want to hear Nick's takes because
first
for him to say that they're not going to be the worst team, I'm actually very intrigued. So
it's not because Cleveland. Let me just get that out there. Cleveland is a bad team, but there's one other team that I think needs a shout out in how bad that they really are. But with Cleveland, I mean, here's the thing with Cleveland. They have some intriguing pieces on this team, and thank God what happened with the Judkins situation, that's settled, because that didn't happen. That Travis Hunter trade down would have looked so awful, because that was what one of the picks was used on. I'm glad, even though I think Jerome Ford's probably going to get a majority of the carries because Judkins missed all that time, I think Ford will probably be the guy to get those carries, but this quarterback crew, man. First off, I'll say this. Deshaun Watson is done. He's done. There's no chance he comes back. And
he's not.
Like Joe Flacco may be a statue in the backfield, but he actually, like, seriously, the dude, like, he could be a statue at times, but he has the connection with David Njoku, which is why I actually like him fantasy-wise this year.
Okay.
And I think
I had Njoku last year.
Yeah, too. And I think with Jerry Jeudy at the picture, who I think he's the most underrated receiver in the game. Like, people don't mention about him because
how bad the team is.
Yeah.
And I will say it with defense, thank God they got back Myles Garrett. But I still think the secondary has some pieces too. I mean, I like Grant Delpit. I mean, Denzel Ward is still doing his thing. If Gregory Newsome can play a little more consistently, maybe he would be okay here. I mean, the linebacker core is a little shaky to me. I mean, I do love Carson a little, but I think he's a little raw for me. I didn't like him going round 2. But there's still intriguing pieces here. And I don't care anyone says, Kevin Stefanski's in the worst spot to be in a coach because he's a really good coach.
He is.
But the problem is that the owner and the manager, the GM, has made some. And the craziest part is Andrew Berry might be the best GM this franchise has had since returning in the 90s. I think it would be a terrible decision to fire him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's gone. But the decisions he's made have really hurt this team. But again, I'm at the same range of win-loss. I could see this team going to maybe 6, 7 wins, 5 around there.
You're more optimistic than me.
I am a little optimistic because there's some pieces here. And the O-line is a little shaky. If Conklin can stay healthy, though, because he's their best tackle. He's not even the blindside tackle. I think it's Dawood Jones who's the blindside blocker right now. If Conklin can stay healthy, I think that's key for them. But, man, this team, there's a lot that they got to look at. I think they're at a point, because of how bad they are cap-wise, they need to see who belongs and who doesn't. And if they get above a 500 record, that's progress. Right there.
Absolutely.
No, I believe the same.
I liked you brought up some good points. Because I do feel like the personnel on paper, it's not as bad as everybody is necessarily making it out to be. They've got a good receiving corps if everyone stays healthy. Jerry Jeudy, a guy who was one of my teammates in high school, Cedric Tillman, who I got to see him.
That's a player.
Really, I got to see him rise and grind, and he had a great career at Tennessee. I think he's going to do well as their Z, even though he's more of an X receiver. I like Jamari Thrash as their guy in the slot, and obviously David Njoku is a very talented tight end. The running back room is going to be interesting because you mentioned Jerome Ford, but I'm really excited to see what Quinshon Judkins does because I thought he was one of the best bell cow backs of the draft.
The problem, though, is because of the amount of time he had to focus on his legal issues. And I'll give you another name I kind of like in the receiver court, if he can keep his head in check, Isaiah Bond. That dude would have been a day 2 pick if he didn't have his legal issues.
Exactly.
But I would love to see how Judkins does. But again, like, there's rust. I mean, we saw it with Deshaun last year and the year before that. There could be rust there with Judkins. So we'll see if he could shake the rust off quickly or if he's going to be more of like the late bloomer type of player where he's going to need to learn this 1 year and maybe in year 2 or I always give prospects 2 to 3 years of development. I learned my lesson during the Jared Goff and RG3 years. Like RG3 had an amazing rookie year and then the next after he tore his ACL, went downhill from there. And Jared Goff was horrendous his rookie year. Like, I remembered that year, and I'm getting a little off topic here. I apologize, DJ.
No, you're good.
I remember at that year with Jared Goff, he was getting called like one of the worst picks, like Jamarcus Russell level back.
Yeah.
The Jared Goof memes were going crazy.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then when they fired Jeff Fisher, who had a job for way too long than he should have.
Oh my God.
Then when you had Sean McVay come in, Jared Goff actually played well.
That changed everything.
So that's my advice to people watching. Give prospects 2 to 3 years of development.
I agree on that. And I think that's where, if you're the Browns, I'm thinking at quarterback because, that's where all the attention is going to be on.
Yeah.
You start the year with Flacco. I think Kenny Pickett, I don't know how he got
I
it.
think he's cut, to be honest with you, out of the four.
There's just no way. The dude is not good. He's not good. We've seen it already.
I'm trying to be as gracious as possible, but
he's just, I'll say he is terrible.
In the worst quarterback class that I have ever seen.
No, 2013's is pretty bad. I mean, that was with
wait.
Yeah,
Gino did have a career resurgence.
That's fair, but besides
Gino,
him,
he did.
I mean, look at the scrubs. Like EJ Manuel of all people. EJ Manuel of all people went in round 1. That's how bad that class was.
Yo, I met EJ Manuel, great guy.
I met the dude too. He's a nice guy.
A great analyst. He does such a great job, but it just did not go.
Yeah, I feel so bad. That dude is I don't know if he's ever gonna listen to this, but that dude is such a nice man. But
it's always the worst players who are the analysts. It's crazy. Like Dan Orlovsky, everybody said he was terrible. But then he didn't have Patrick Mahomes in his top 10 quarterbacks this season. I'm like,
when he ran out of the end zone into a safety, I mean that's always going to be immortalized. But
thank God.
Like I was confused on them signing Tyler Huntley as a camp arm, a couple weeks ago. That didn't make much sense unless they're really thinking that, okay, with all the potential injuries, they're going to have to account for something. So I really think that the backup job, it's really between Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. When it comes to Dylan Gabriel, I like him as a person. He's a career backup to me. I at no point did I see NFL guy. He does not have the arm strength. He's too small. And
made no sense they took him round 3. I had that kid as a 6th-round prospect.
I would have understood picking Quinn Ewers there before picking.
I'm not a big Quinn Ewers guy myself, but I can see what you're saying. He has more potential. He has more potential.
Like what their ceiling can do. I had
either of them.
I had Shedeur as a 1st-round guy. I had him going anywhere from pick 10 to pick 15 or whatever like that. I think that Shedeur is going to find a way to get a majority of the reps, but I think that what's going to happen is that they're probably going to be like, hey, listen, go out there. There's no expectation. Play your game. Go through your bumps and bruises. And then, like you said, because of their hard cap, they don't have much to work with in this offseason. And they're now going to have to see who is actually going to be there. After you have a year where you just kind of just go out and do your thing, just try to, throw it on the wall, see what sticks, then you can further say, okay, this is how we're going to build our team. This is how we're going to build our identity.
Here's my one problem with both. And I think Shedeur has more potential than Gabriel. But both guys are in such a bad situation. First off, taking 2 QBs in one draft is a terrible decision.
Yeah, especially when you already had 2 veteran QBs you signed.
Exactly. And you traded for 1 too during the offseason. Even though, let's be honest here, I kind of feel for Shedeur too, especially when he got prank called by Ulbricht's kid.
That was messed up. Yeah.
Oh God,
that was so messed up.
But when I saw him getting drafted there and the reaction that you saw to the draft room, 2 people came in mind here: Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski. What were their reactions, gentlemen? If you saw it,
I don't remember.
They were not happy.
They were
doing the golf clap you see people do at the PGA Tour. They did not want Shedeur, and I guarantee Jimmy Haslam forced that pack. I don't know anybody in that organization, but their reaction alone tells me that. But I will say, I can see why Jimmy Haslam wants the kid.
Yeah,
because he's got potential, and I think him dropping as far as he did, it might have been an attitude issue. I don't know. I've never met Shedeur, but just watching him on film, yes, he had one of the greatest college players at the time in Travis Hunter playing, but he made some throws that make you that are eye-popping for you.
Yeah.
If he can trigger that in the NFL, which, by the way, he's going to start this year. He is going. I think what they're probably going to do. Yeah, they're probably going to give half the fun. Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to have Joe Flacco continue for the first half of the season.
That's what I'm thinking.
And what I think they're going to do is they're going to give 4 games to Shedeur.
That's something.
4 games to Dylan Gabriel. and cut Kenny Pickett midseason.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. I don't see
a little emphasis into the Kenny Pickett
slide his way out. Look, that was the height of Kenny Pickett when he had that fake slide. Who was it against that Pitt played? But I remember that play was everywhere for like a year straight, and that basically got him into the first round. But no, that's actually an interesting theory because I do feel like there is something that they liked about Dylan Gabriel enough to pick him in the second round, knowing you had needs at the offensive line, you had needs in your secondary, you had needs that needed to be addressed before you start reaching for a quarterback prospect who, like you said, was going to be a day 3 guy. So that's actually an interesting theory, but I could see that because they probably want to see, okay, we're not in a position where there's any expectation here, so can afford.
That's why they took Mason Graham in the first round, which they needed an interior defensive lineman badly at that time.
Yeah,
I think he'll be a great player for them.
It wasn't a bad pick, but it was because of the fact that they could have still have gotten Travis, and they could have had that connection going.
Yeah, but that trade up was like for Jacksonville trading up, that didn't really make a ton of sense. And they get a first next year too, I think, if I remember correctly. And I think that pick will be valuable because the Jaguars are my number 2 football team. Number 1 is Jets, of course.
Oh,
but this is a good story. There is a good reason why I'm a Jaguars fan too. I'll tell you why I'm a Jaguars fan.
I'll be something for therapy, man.
It's family related.
The Hornets, the Jaguars, the Jets. Oh man!
Oh my God!
Your baseball too? What's your baseball?
Yankees. I'm a Yankees fan. I got them.
Okay.
So.
Oh, even lately that struggle. Oh, that World Series last year. I know agony. Oh,
listen, I'm not the type of Yankees fan that's like gonna be super angry at a bad season because let's be real, the Yankees fans are kind of spoiled. But you know what I mean? Like I'm that sort of like, listen, I'm just here for the ride. They're the only team I like that has a chance right now. Let me have this. Let me watch a baseball game.
I will not be in a good mood until Aaron Boone is fired.
I kind of want Cashman gone too, to be honest.
Oh, yes,
I did not like the trade deadline. Like Jake Bird has been a disaster. But we're getting off topic with baseball here.
No, but
what's your guys' final thoughts on the Browns before we get to the next team?
To me,
like your record prediction.
I'm gonna go with 6, maybe 7.
6 and 11.
Yeah, around there, 6 and 11, 7 and 10. That's where I think they would be.
I'm a little bit more not as nice, but I'm gonna go 5 and 12. But
I said 4 and 13.
Oh,
yeah.
That's probably.
I said
that's
it.
Probably
I
the
said
low
it before.
point for them.
Like I said earlier, I said 4. I see they're only getting one more win than they did last year.
But I feel like it all comes down. Like if your theory proves, which I could very well see, if they're able to establish an identity of what the team is going to be for these next 2 years, because that's really what it's about. They're not. This year is a trial run year. It's all about the future. So if they can figure out in these next couple years what it is that they're supposed to do as an offense and continue to build around Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward on the defensive end, they could get back to where they were a couple years ago as a playoff contender. You know what I'm saying? So it's not out the range because they do have good personnel there, but it's about properly putting all the pieces properly together. That's really
correct.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm gonna take a quick gander though. Do you have Cincy as the worst team in this division?
That is correct. Ding 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 ding.
We'll get into them because
I really want
crazy. I knew it wasn't going to be the Ravens. I knew it wasn't going to be the Ravens.
No, and listen,
I coin toss.
If you said the Ravens, I would think you on drugs.
No. Listen, if my father finds any type of drugs that's not medicine that you would have to take by a doctor, not only would I be kicked out of the house, I think I would be kicked out of the country. So,
man.
I'm not involved in that.
I figured it was gonna be. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be between the Steelers and the Bengals, but I'm low key leaning to the Bengals just because of how porous their defense has been.
And I think they have one of the worst coaches in the league right now.
Oh, We'll get to the Bengals, but first,
I'm sorry, I'm fast forwarding. I should save the ammo.
Save it bit for it. If you have any more, save it for when we get to the Bengals.
Are we going to Pittsburgh next, or are we going to Cincy?
Pittsburgh right now.
Okay.
Then we go to Cincy after. Then.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So next we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were 10-7 last year. They lost to the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card. They got busy this offseason, man. This is one team I'm kind of bullish on coming into the season. So they acquired wide receiver DK Metcalf from a trade from the Seattle Seahawks. Metcalf gives the Steelers a legitimate go-to receiver. Yes, they had George Pickens last year, he's solid, but Metcalf is one of those guys, when he's healthy and right, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. This dude's built. He's tall. He has great hands. He can catch deep passes. He's one of the best receivers we have in football when he's right. And he's proven that, especially early on in his career. He signed a 5-year, $150 million extension, so he's there for a foreseeable future. They signed Aaron Rodgers, who I know is not what he used to be, but former 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. He joins a team, I think, that has a little bit of a better offensive line than what the Jets had, because the Jets, we know, they have not really had a great offensive line.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
He said, you don't need to put salt on the wound. I already know this.
And he actually gets to play for a much better coaching staff.
Yeah, much better coaching.
Because
Mike Tomlin,
I've said this. You should have seen me last year. I'm like, why is Saleh still here? Why? Like, that was my motto. Like, Woody Johnson's a terrible owner, but firing him mid-season, I don't care what anyone says. People saying, "Oh, but it was a mistake because Jeff Ulbrich sucked." Yeah, because he had Woody on his back. Firing Robert Saleh mid-season was the right decision. He was so inept as a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. He didn't. Yeah, he's a good defensive coordinator. He's a nice guy, but too nice. He's too nice.
Yeah, no, and you need to. I hate to say it, but with a player like Aaron Rodgers, you can't have a guy who's going to be trying to be friends with him. You just can't.
But here's a problem I have with Pittsburgh, though, with getting Rodgers. Because let's be real, say what you want about the guy. I'm not going to talk about it, but he's got a little bit of the cancer stuff. He's a cancerous player. Yeah. The Steelers cannot every time they get a cancerous player, they just add another cancer from a different team, and they just maintain it. It's crazy. But Mike, here's the thing. Mike Tomlin, let's be real. If this wasn't the Steelers, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If it wasn't the Steelers, he would have been fired in 2020 after that Browns playoff scam, where the Browns had half their coaching staff out. The team had the COVID bug. They had improper practices for weeks. I'm sorry, that's an automatic firing if you get destroyed by that Cleveland Browns team.
That was a crazy game. That was Big Ben's last. That was Big Ben's last game, right?
No, that was his. No, because he had another year after that.
Yes, okay,
because his contract was so terrible. If he retired, that would wreck their salary.
I think he retired in 2020.
And I guarantee you, in the locker room, they're like, "Hey Ben, I know you make a lot of money. And you're thinking of retirement. How about one more year? We run the crew back again."
Yeah. Well, speaking of retirement, Aaron Rodgers is entering his last year in the NFL. He did announce he's going to be retiring from the league after this year. One note I found that was really interesting is he is one of 3 quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Brett Favre the others, to throw for 3,500 plus yards, 25 plus touchdowns at the age of 40 or older in the season. Him and Brady are the only ones to do that this decade. Even though he's not what he used to be, the gunslinger he was in his prime in Green Bay when he won the MVPs, won a Super Bowl, I think he's still someone who's going to be really effective, especially with a great weapon, DK Metcalf. You have a great coach in Mike Tomlin, who I think is going to put him in position to succeed. And let me not forget some of the other additions they added. You added a tight end in Jonnu Smith, who acquired from the trade from Miami Dolphins.
Arthur Smith withdrawal syndrome coming, I remember him in Atlanta. He has Kyle Pitts on there. He's like, "No, Jonnu Smith is the guy." But we have Kyle Pitts, who's taller, better, more athletic. Exactly. No. I need Jonnu Smith. He's like, I hate to use the word drinking buddy, but that's what
you probably are.
They probably are drinking buddies. No,
that's true. And then they had a great run defense last year, but their pass defense was a really struggle. They were 23rd in terms of passing yards allowed per game and 17th in yards allowed per pass. But I think some of the moves they made is going to help them in that department. They signed Darius Slay from the Eagles, former Pro Bowler, All-Pro cornerback who has Super Bowl championship experience, and he had 13 passes defended last year, so he has big game experience. And the Steelers are about winning culture. He adds that to this organization.
I'll give you
another
name.
All-Pro cornerback, Jalen Ramsey as well. So you have 2 lockdown corners when you're a team that really struggled in defending against the pass, who I think are going to help in that pass defense.
They have 3.
Three. I forgot. Who am I forgetting?
Joey Porter Jr. You can't forget about him.
Joey, yes.
Yeah. Joey Porter Jr.
So I'm really bullish on this team.
I'll give you another name. Juwan Thornhill, who they got from Cleveland. That's he wasn't that great because he was on an awful Browns team, and I think him going to Pittsburgh with I think Deshaun Elliott is the other safety that's playing with him. I think that's going to be a really, really good duo. And here's another name, even though he got hurt with the Jets last year and did nothing. I mean, he was the healthiest player of all time until he joined the Jets. What else is new? Chuck Clark. I think that is a really, when healthy, that dude is a player. And of course, when he joins my team, all he does is goes to the infirmary room. It sucks. It sucks.
That's a curse, man. Oh man.
No, that's I think DJ hit the nail on the head though, because secondary was their biggest Achilles heel, and they are tooled and loaded. I think they could potentially have the best secondary in all of football. That's if everyone stays healthy and in their scheme, they're able to find everyone. Because I mean, I think last year they ran like a 3-4, and I'm interested to see how everyone in this personnel now, how that works and plays out. But if they're able to, create as many opportunities for their secondary guys to be playmakers, I think that makes the load for the defensive line, it makes it a lot easier, because it felt like at the start of the year, the defensive line in Pittsburgh was doing so much of the heavy lifting. And I think after a while, they got kind of burnt out. They got kind of tired. So having a secondary that can now be on the back end and cover up your mistakes and be able to keep you in the game, it makes it a lot easier.
I do wonder, though, how Derek Harmon's injury is going to impact them in the first probably few games of the season. Because
when's he come back? Week 4?
I believe he's coming back week 4, if I remember. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, injuries, they vary, but losing him sucks. I got to say, though, I am a little disappointed with Patrick Queen. When he left Baltimore to go to Pittsburgh. It's just not a fit for him there. But thank God TJ Watt decided to sign with that team, man, because he is the best defensive player, not named Micah Parsons.
Ooh. What about Myles Garrett?
Number 3.
Ooh, okay.
Number 4, I think I would probably put Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I don't call him Sauce. I think it's stupid that we call him by their nickname. Ahmad Sauce Gardner is what I call him.
Some people just call him Sauce Gardner.
I think that's stupid. I mean, that's probably a Sauce. Ahmad is probably.
As a Jets fan, though, I'm shocked to hear that every Jets fan.
I call him Ahmad. It's his name.
I get that. So it's like, look, what did his mother name him? Ahmad. There you go. But no, I'm not mad at that. I do feel like with TJ Watt, I feel like he's at a point of his career where it's all about, you have to make sure that you're keeping him happy. Because if not, all other 31 teams are going to do everything in their power to try to get him.
Look at what they're doing with Micah Parsons right now. I mean, the Packers, I think, and you never hear the Packers offer anything big trade-wise. Like the last big trade I can remember, and I'm guessing it's the Aaron Rodgers trade, if I remember. That's probably the last big trade, right?
Last big acquisition I remember them going for was when Charles Woodson came available from the Raiders.
That is true.
They're a team. It's
the trade up to draft Jair Alexander when he was in the draft. There we go. Yeah.
That's true. But they're a team that does not like to they don't like to trade, and they don't like to spend big in free agents.
Correct.
They're going to build from the ground up. Same with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, here's something else that and I know special teams is special teams, but Chris Boswell is still a really good kicker, and he can be clutch for them.
One of the best kickers in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a lot to like about this. And like we talk about the offense, Jonnu Smith as well being in there. I mean, DK Metcalf. I don't really see too much depth at wide. I mean, Roman Wilson's been a disappointment. Calvin Austin. I was going to
say their weakness is wide receiver.
Outside
of Metcalf.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
Not a lot of depth.
I think Broderick Jones is kind of a bit of a weakness because he's
Broderick
not
Jones
panned out. Yeah, he is not panned out as I like Fautanu though. That kid is a great blocker.
I think that with Pittsburgh, they have to figure out who their running back is more than anything because they have potentially a talented running back room on hand.
Well, is Johnson healthy?
He played yesterday.
Oh, he did play yesterday.
He played the last preseason game. He got like a good amount of snaps. I really like his game a lot. I'm hoping that he can be their bell cow and Jaylen Warren is their third down.
What about Kenneth Gainwell? Don't forget about Kenneth Gainwell. That dude was a hidden gem on that Eagles offense when he was there.
That's a good third down back too. So if they have, I feel like because like all the attention is going to be on DK, you still got
Pat Freiermuth too.
Yeah. All the attention is going to be on DK. They're probably going to run a lot of 2 tight end formations with Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. That's going to allow one of those running backs to emerge as a receiving option as well. But the thing with Rodgers at this point in his career, can he be hit at this stage and this age?
Yeah, that's a big question.
And be able to bounce back.
He's already dealing with calf issues. Like we've seen him on this during practice, like get his calf wrapped. He's not even playing in the preseason, which I think which is a smart move. There's a reason why they brought back Mason Rudolph.
You want to talk about drinking? You want to talk about a drinking buddy? Mason Rudolph has to have dirt on the Rooney family because I have never seen a guy always manage to come back to just
Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle in the NFL whenever he gets a job. How does Tim Boyle keep getting jobs in this league?
Nathan Peterman,
does he have some sort of like Pandora's box on Roger Goodell or something?
It's like the NBA. This when they recycle the same coaches, I get fired, bro.
Don't even get me started with the NBA coaching.
It's the same recycling instead of hiring someone fresh and new. But,
I was gonna say though, I think that with I'm intrigued to see how the combo with Rodgers and DK works because it's been a while since Rodgers has played with a tall possession receiver like that. Probably since like Jordy Nelson, But most of the receivers that Rodgers played with that he had most of the success were like shifty route running guys. Devontae Adams, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver. I don't know how that's going to work with DK because I think DK is very talented, but he quits on a lot of his routes when he doesn't get the ball off bat. So how is that going to work with Rodgers, who is going to sometimes look to hold on to the ball until he finds the right read, or is going to, you got to be ready for it, but it's going to be on like a short route. It's going to be on a medium route versus a deep route. I don't know
I'll give you an answer in 2 words, and I'm pretty sure you know what those 2 words are.
Arthur Smith?
Mike Tomlin. He knows how to handle these receivers. Like,
that's it.
How many times? Like, I've lost track how many cancerous wide receivers there've been. Like, and have left Pittsburgh on. Like, example, George Pickens last year, who's the whole pro camps thing, that whole drama. He's a piece of work for that. I mean, he had a literal train wreck as his wide receiver for 8 years in Antonio Brown when he got dinged in the head by Vontaze Burfict.
I was about to say, it was never the same after that hit by Vontaze.
Never the same.
Never the same.
Even though I actually like Juju, I think Juju's a nice guy, but he was starting to get like the cancerous sort of thing with those TikToks. But Tomlin knows how to work with these guys, and even back in the day, the kicker, I think his name was Jeff Reed, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
he's another piece. Like, go look that guy up and tell me like that guy is a piece of work.
Look, Big Ben is no stranger either.
I think there's a. I remembered and like when they couldn't beat New England, and it was like during the final years, I said, why are they keeping this injury-prone, cancerous quarterback on their roster? Like, that's like, you laugh, but it's true. But you are right though. Tomlin's ability to rein the guys in, keep them disciplined, and keep them from self-imploding, that does deserve a lot of credit in itself, because a lot of coaches do not have the wherewithal, the bandwidth, and it takes a lot of ability to do that, but you also have to know what you're talking about. And I got another receiver we forgot to mention that was also a piece of work too in Pittsburgh. Remember him? He loved the weed.
Oh my gosh,
Martavis Bryant.
Oh my, one of the most talented receivers that I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is a classic example of wasted potential.
Man.
Ever.
Oh, man.
But Tomlin manages to work with these guys well.
That's
I mean,
true.
even though I think he's kind of like full of it in his press conferences. Like, remember when he blamed like Big Ben not being put in the game because of an X-ray machine? Like, remember that? Like, I think that was in 2020, if I remember correct. No, not 2020. That was during the days of our Steelers year in 2019 when like so much chaotic stuff was happening. He legit blamed an X-ray machine for Big Ben not being in one of the biggest games of the year.
That's crazy.
I think the last few years with the problem that Pittsburgh still has is that they have to figure out though who is going to be the quarterback of the future, because right now, looking at the roster, you got Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, you got Will Howard. But to me, I had Will Howard as a very late day 2 guy pushing day 3, and that's being nice. But is he going to be the guy that you say, okay, after Rodgers, the baton is passed to him? I
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
I watched Will Howard at college this season. I was like, I don't really see it.
And Skylar Thompson actually looked decent in these. Like, it's the preseason, but he looked decent in those games. And he also has experience starting in the NFL. I mean, you can't forget about that.
Oh gosh, one of the worst playoff games that I've ever watched in my life.
So bad.
Fellas, what's your guys' record? What's your guys' record for the Steelers before we get to the Bengals?
I'll go first.
My battery's getting low.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, you good. So, it's a good conversation, though.
Yeah. So here's what I gotta say. As long as Tomlin is the coach, they're going to have a above 500 record, but they're going to have some. There's going to be some nonsense losses. Like, I guarantee you, Cleveland will get at least like 1 or 2 wins this year from Pittsburgh, because it happens every single year.
No, that is true. That is true. So, I mean, it's a bloodbath in the division.
Anyway. Oh my God, yeah. So I'm gonna go with 9 wins for them, because that's what they always love to do, and they get above a 500 record, and that's why Tomlin is keeping his job, because he has the 500 record stuff. I guarantee you, when he's under 500, the Steelers will conveniently have his contract expire, if you know where I'm going.
You're going to shoot for the under, knowing that they might push for the over when the season actually happens.
Correct.
I got them going 11-6.
I got them in the 10 to 11 win range, but it really comes down to their secondary, how they perform, and then really how Rodgers performs, because that was the thing last year. I felt like it was a mistake to take Justin Fields out when he had built the bond.
I don't understand it. And then again, why they benched him like week 5 for Russell Wilson, I do not understand.
And they never really put him back in.
No.
Yeah.
And I feel like
look at Russell Wilson, he departed to the Giants.
And if anything, if you were gonna bench him, you might as well have still kept him. You might as well
traded him. Or traded him.
But you let him go for nothing. Pennies on the dollar. So it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all with that move. So they have to figure out moving forth, because right now they're not in a position where they're going to have a team for the future. They're a team for now, which is great, but you're not quite there to be a Super Bowl contender. So what are you going to do moving forward? So that's why I say 10 to 11 wins.
I initially had 12-5, but when I thought about it, I'm like, they don't have the depth at the receiver outside of Metcalf.
Nope.
And there's also going to be the Mike Tomlin syndrome of playing down to competition. You know, that happens almost every single.
We'll play great against elite teams, and then pull versus the
it's a Tomlin classic.
And then we got to see the running back situation, like who ends up, because now Najee Harris is gone from that team. He went to the Chargers. So
I'm terrified with Najee, like with that fireworks thing, with how his vision is. That's scary. Yeah. Scary.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't play with fireworks, kids. Don't do it.
Never.
Disappear, Paul.
I don't know.
He's another one. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh my God, I thought you were supposed to be smart.
Like, who just plays with fireworks?
That was just like,
as a grown man.
Are you serious? Like, I was just like, really? Like, why?
As a grown person.
I will say, in JP's defense, or not defense, but like in his, at least to his credit, he was a really valuable member of that Bucs team in 2020 that won the
cast and everything. Yeah.
He was dominant that year. He was looking like how he did previously in New York. So
he's an athletic freak, though, with his size, moving like that.
The Brady effect.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles effect. You know what I'm saying?
The ring chasing effect.
We'll see what happens with Najee with one eye. I'm interested. I hope he figures it out.
Imagine if like the Chargers like find like Hampton is so good and the Steelers like they need that running back. They're like, Najee, why don't you come on back here?
Come on back. I mean, they keep bringing Mason Rudolph back, so you might as well bring another guy back.
Of that. But the next team we got now, supposedly the worst team that will be in the division.
Oh no, no question. In my
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's the point on this, Nick. I gotta hear your thoughts.
9-8, missed the playoffs. So some key note to have for them. They resigned their superstar receiver, Jamar Chase. He finally got his money. 4 years, $161 million contract extension, $112 million guaranteed. Makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Chase was incredible last year, even though they struggled defensively. Man, he became one of 5 receivers in NFL history last season to record 1,700 plus receiving yards, 15 plus touchdowns, and over 100 plus receiving yards per game. The other players to do that in NFL history are Jerry Rice in 95, Herman Moore in 95, Calvin Johnson in 2011, Cooper Kupp when he won the Triple Crown in 2021. He also becomes one of 6 receivers this decade to have 2 or more seasons of at least 1,200 plus receiving yards, 85 plus receiving yards per game, 10 plus yards per reception, and at least 6 receiving touchdowns in the season. Joining Justin Jefferson, who's done it 4 times, Devontae Adams 3, Tyreek Hill 3, Nico Collins twice, and Stephon Diggs twice. And they also signed the other guy, T. Higgins. So they made sure to take care of both their receivers because that was kind of the question coming to this season. Will they have money to pay both of their guys? And they found a way to do that because, Joe Burrow, he was not going to be happy if they didn't decide to pay that money. And, the Bengals owners, they're known to be very cheap. Very cheap. But, man, I'm glad to see that they got their money. Higgins is there for the next 4 years, $115 million contract, $30 million guaranteed, but the first 2 years fully guaranteed. And also they bolstered their offensive line a little bit because this was a team 18th in QB sack percentage last year, 23rd in sacks allowed per game. Joe Burrow, we know that team is kind of struggles with protecting him, but they signed Lucas Patrick from Green Bay. They drafted Dylan Fairchild from Georgia. Dylan may know him. Jalen Rivers from Miami. And they do have a new defensive coordinator, Al Golden, who served as the DC for Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who won the national championship this year.
My college team.
Yeah.
My college team.
Hey, that kind of helps your therapy right there. I know you had to have some winning team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
And then they enhanced their pass rush. They signed linebacker Oren Burks from the Eagles. The Eagles lost. When we get to the NFC, the Eagles lost a lot of the defensive core, man. But we'll get into that in the NFC. They drafted edge rusher Shamar Stewart, who's getting a lot of raves. He's been doing really good in the preseason. I've been reading a lot of articles and seeing that, he might be one of their best pass rushers. He's 6'5", 256, agile. He can really get after the quarterback. Man, one thing they need to do, though, they haven't done yet, pay Trey Hendrickson. What are y'all doing? He's been sitting out. Y'all still haven't paid him. He led the NFL in sacks last year, 17.5. He was the first Bengal to ever lead that team in that category since the stat became official in 1982. He was 4 years consecutively Pro Bowl selection and first team All-Pro last year. How come you guys still haven't paid him? You paid your receivers. Now it's time to take care of your pass rusher who led the league in sacks. I don't know what we're waiting for here. The owner, he needs to stop being cheap, man. He has the money. Just pay the man. Like, your defense is already going to be in shambles without him. You're gonna be even worse. They were really bad with him last year. You're gonna be even worse without him. Like I think I saw little tweets recently in the preseason. They were making fun of the defense when they got shredded. They were like, "This is why y'all need to pay Trey Hendrickson." I forgot who were they playing, but they were getting shredded by some team. I don't know if Nick may know, but it was bad.
This defense.
Did they play
sucks.
Philly?
I think it was Philly in the preseason. I don't really watch preseason. That's why I don't know, because preseason is the aim. But I saw Twitter. I saw the comments and what people did. It was going viral. Like, it's why y'all need to pay Trey Hendrickson because y'all getting roasted in the preseason.
Yeah.
It's correct. In preseason, people don't even try that hard, and y'all still getting toast. So, but they need to pay Trey Hendrickson. I'm glad they took care of their receivers because that's something I really had as a question coming in, because I thought either Chase or what's his name? I really thought T. Higgins was going to be the odd man left out, but I'm glad they took care of him because I'm like, that's their number 2 receiver, because if you have him, it alleviates a lot of pressure off Jamar Chase, because I saw some games last year when T. Higgins was out, the defense could just crowd on Chase, and that kind of made him frustrated. This is a guy I seen him at times kind of get frustrated and trying to want to throw hands at some defenders because they'll throw 3 guys at him. But having guys like Higgins there for the long term, it's going to alleviate things off of him because now you have another guy you have to worry about who's a threat in the outfield, in the open field. So, yeah. And then I like the Stewart pickup, the kid from Texas A&M, 6'5", 256. I think he's going to be a real player for them, man. I'm really bullish on him. I think he's going to be a real player in this league once he gets the reps and everything. But yeah, Cincinnati. I think I want to hear Nicholas's take on worst team because
point on that.
I think this is a team. They just need to pay Trey Hendrickson because I don't know what they're doing there because he's still sitting out for some reason, still not signed to a new contract. But I want to hear your takes before I get into their prediction.
So, I got a few things I got to say about this team. First off, this defense stinks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like Hulk Hogan Dookie level of awful. Like, that's how bad this defense is. Bad. Like, except for Trey Hendrickson, and like I get why you guys are high on Shamar Stewart. I think he's going to be more of a year 2 player because he had the contract holdout. And I don't think he's going to be as great. I like Shamar Stewart. I think the kid has got a ton of potential, but it's not going to be a quick thing. You need reps, you need practice, and I think it's going to be a little bit for him. Besides those 2 guys, name me another good defensive player on this team.
Okay. I can't. I'm going to be honest. I can't.
Like, Demetrius Knight, who they took in the 3rd round, like, has potential, but I didn't like him in the college. I had him as more of like a day 3 pick, but like, look at the secondary. I'm reading these guys out right now.
You know who's I like him as a player because I actually scouted him quite a bit. But Chris Jenkins Jr. He's their backup D tackle.
In a rotational role, he's fine.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I mean, yeah, they got BJ Hill, but if I'm Cincy, I would let the young guy get the opportunity.
I agree, but I agree. I that's fine. Okay, you convinced me there. They have 3 players on defense. So
you know who they signed? Geno Stone.
Yeah, but he's on the decline. He wasn't that great last year in Baltimore.
He's
secondary.
He's a ball hawk. Look
at the secondary, dude. Like, yeah. I'll give you the names. Dax Hill is a wasted 1st-round pick. Cambritt Taylor stinks. Jordan Battle has not been good. DJ Turner hasn't been that great. Like, DJ Ivy, like Jalen Davis, Josh New. Who are these guys? I'm reading like in the depth chart right now. I'm like, these guys are not great. And with the receivers they got to face this year, Judy, DK Metcalf twice. For Baltimore, Zay Flowers is a name that comes to mind. Like the tight ends, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, and Derrick Henry being there.
They have their work cut out for them.
They have their work cut out for them. This defense is awful. I don't even think their linebacker core is that great. I mean, like, excluding maybe Knight, like Logan Wilson's not that great. I'm sorry. I can't get behind this defense. Yeah. And, like, look, I like what they did on offense. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks. Chase and Higgins are great. I like what they did bringing in Lucas Patrick, and I do love that other guard, Fairchild. I think he's going to be a good player for them. And Orlando Brown. I don't know about Morris Mims. I'm a little mixed with him. He was, 50-50 last year, but again, I give 2 to 3 years for prospects. But they have no depth on offense. Depth. Like, excluding Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, do not look at your phones, gentlemen, or your screens right now. Cover your eyes. I want to see it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Name me another receiver.
I can't.
Wait. No. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's like
Iosova?
Iosova.
Yes.
I think, and then do they still have Jermaine Burton from Alabama?
Okay. Wow. Okay. You really do know your thing. I like this guy already.
He's a big football guy. I'm more football dude.
I have a friend who's a big Bengals fan, so I talked a lot with him about the team. So admittedly, I have a little bit of an insight. But
I'm sick of that defense watching that crap.
Oh no, he hates the defense.
I watched it last year. I'm like, this is atrocity.
I mean, like those two are okay, but they're not like dependable.
They're not game changers, though.
They're not game changers, and they pretty much have scrubs.
So you're really heavily relying on your top 2 receivers. Yeah. Like if one of them is off, it's scary.
To be honest, I don't really think their tight ends are all that great either. I mean, Gesicki, meh. Noah Fant stinks. I don't like he gets too much hype. I never liked him in Seattle or Denver.
I'm still holding out hope for Noah Fant. I'm not gonna lie, just because I feel like look, I'm still holding out hopes for Kyle Pitts. So I mean, look, call me a believer.
I understand. I get where you're coming from, but
it's hard. Like when you see those measurables, right, and you think about the potential of like what can be done and what can be achieved in the right scheme, and I do feel like who's Cincy's OC?
I think their OC is it Lou? Let me go.
I do feel like if there's any scheme that a tight end could actually thrive in very well, it would be Cincy's scheme because there's so much pressure and focus on the outside.
I'm sorry, it's Dan Pitch. I think it's Dan Pitcher. My mistake.
Okay.
There was the defensive coordinator who got fired last year. I'm sorry. My bad. Bing helped me on this one, gentlemen. I went on to Bing to make sure I'm fact checked, okay?
Oh, yeah. I checked through it. I was like, I got your back, too.
But I just feel like if there's a scheme that could actually be tight end friendly due to all the focus and attention being on those outside receivers, given that there's not really a lot of slot and inside guys, I think that's where you do run a 2 tight end type of offense. Because you don't want – because in the running back room, it's pretty thin. I mean, you have
Chase Brown, Ryan.
I like Chase Brown a lot. They brought back Samaje Perine. But outside of that, they don't really utilize the run game that much.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not a big Perine guy myself. I mean, Perine's okay to have. Brown's not the greatest. Losing Zach Moss is a kind of a big blow that doesn't get talked about. And I think that it's not confirmed yet. I think he's done. Because neck injuries are no joke.
You think he's retiring?
I think he's done with his neck injury, which sucks.
I would not. I'd be scared to play with after a neck injury. I ain't gonna lie.
I kind of like this Brooks kid that they took in the 6th round, Taj Brooks.
Oh, from Texas Tech. I like his game too.
He's got potential, but I don't think. I think he needs another year or 2 to be ready. They don't really have a running back, and to be honest.
Oh, you don't think Chase Brown is a number 1 guy?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he's more of a number 2 or 3 guy. I mean, last year proved it when they gave him the carries as the number 1. He just wasn't consistent enough. And, I mean, they don't really have depth on this offense. I can't get behind this. I can't get behind this Bengals team. And look what happened. I think was it last year that Chase got hurt? Or was it, there was a year where Chase got hurt. And
it might have been.
I think it was the year probably before that.
Yes.
Yeah, because last year he went off. Last year he went off, and Higgins was the one that got hurt.
To Jamar's credit, he is gone. It was 2 years ago.
Yes, correct. Look at what happened to them then.
But to his credit, he was still able to put up 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
despite only playing 12 games, which is like him and Jettas are like the only guys that can do that. Play like 5 less games in the actual season and still put up big numbers. But I did hear what you're saying of like they are strapped for depth if they lose anyone that is vital to that team.
I already gave you guys strike 1. I already gave you guys strike 2 for why I think this team is not the best in this division. I think it's the worst. Here comes strike 3, ladies and gentlemen. You know what it is. They have one of the worst coaches in the league right now. I don't care if he got you to a Super Bowl. He's the reason why they lost that Super Bowl to the Rams. Let's be honest here. They do not have a good head coach. And the only reason why he's here still is because the owner is too cheap to want to get rid of him. Don't want to pay the buyout.
He doesn't want to pay anyone already, so it's like that
I was shocked when he paid the both receivers.
Him and
especially Higgins.
The Bears and the Bengals are what I like to call teams run by accountants. Because, seriously, have you noticed, the Bears, this was when Lovie Smith was at his peak there. He was one of the lowest paid head coaches in the league.
It was criminal.
The whole stadium fiasco, which thank God they figured it out now. And with Virginia McCaskey gone, I think their sons will have a better... Either they'll sell or they have a better opportunity.
I know a lot of Bears fans who were jumping for joy.
Yeah.
Jumping for joy.
Which is kind of I don't want to say cruel because, a little unethical because you're cheering for someone to die. You know what I mean here? I get the person's not...
They've had all this misery of you have had us cash strapped for all these years.
Yeah.
We have not been able to move forth. So it is bittersweet. But
correct.
I remember seeing a lot of Bears fans.
I'm sorry, I cannot get. I cannot get behind this team coached by that guy. He needs to go. He needs to go.
What do you have as their record prediction as before we get to the last team?
I have them. My low point for them is at 5 wins. That's why I think they're gonna have.
That's a take that you know.
I like that.
I think their schedule's kind of rough too.
Yeah, they do have one.
And I think the high point. I'm not a big fan of this Bengals team. Maybe the high point is 10 wins. I don't know, maybe 12, 11. But I can't get behind this team. I'm more closer to the 5 to 7 range, just like I am with Cleveland. I don't like giving full-blown number predictions, but my range is 5 to 7 for the Bengals, and I'm leaning towards the 5 range. And I get people who are listening to this right now are probably going to find my social media accounts. They're probably going to track down where I live, and I'll bring protection. But
they're gonna stay 2 days on your door.
Whoever watches this once it's uploaded is gonna
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get the lawyers to come soon. I'm kidding.
I want y'all. There's a very interesting headline with the Bengals right now. So they are making their legends pay for their hotel for the 2025.
That's messed up.
Oh my God!
What a sorry franchise, man.
Hey, if you think your team is cheap, look at what the Bengals have done.
They are the Colorado Rockies of the NFL, where they care for the bottom line when it comes to like paying for stuff.
I'm trying to think of the NBA equivalent. Oh my God!
Right now has been ranting
for an NBA equivalent, probably the Wizards.
Wizard? Nah, I don't know if it's the Wizards.
Well, then that is true.
Of a team that's like that cheap, that is like we're not going to pay for anything.
Oh boy! It's not the Charlotte Hornets. They overpaid for Gordon Hayward.
Yeah,
they gave that dude a max contract and thought that was a good idea.
Oh man!
Thanks, Michael Jordan. I don't miss you.
The Chicago Bulls don't pay nobody, so.
But by the way, that guy, I know we're going off topic here. Jerry Reinsdorf, like he wouldn't have the reputation.
Chicago Bulls, Jerry Reinsdorf, they bro.
He would not have the reputation he had if he didn't luck upon Michael Jordan at number 3.
Yeah,
that guy on the radio call,
Gordon
the
and
2023,
he would have been screwed.
That guy on the 2023 Chicago White Sox phone call to that radio station from ESPN. Go watch that. 100% agree with him. Like Jerry Reinsdorf is not a good owner.
No,
he's not a good owner.
Nah,
he may have the championships in basketball.
I think Michael Jordan,
not a good owner.
Yeah. No, not one bit.
Now that I say that, I'm probably blackballed from all Bulls games. So, oh well. Hope you freaking like it.
There's gonna be a no entry list in any Chicago sports, and Nick is gonna have his
name.
Oh God, I do have some respect for the Cubs, though. I will say that
they've been balling this year.
They figured it out, but I'm just amazed that like
what's your prediction, Billy?
They're not paying for their travel or hotel like that. Just when you thought you could.
What's your prediction, Dylan?
Are they paying for the food?
But again,
that's
crazy.
Bengals,
I can't believe that.
I don't see them as a play. I don't see them as a playoff team, and if they get in, it is as an ultimate wild card because again, that defense is way too thin. So I'm going 8-9 wins.
Imagine if like the Bengals do like go to the playoffs and they do get that Super Bowl. Imagine if like they win and instead of getting food delivered to them, they pull a Cincinnati Reds during the Marge Schott years and they just go out to go get hamburgers just so that they can eat.
Hey, well, like the event at the end of the first Avengers movie, they're like, "You guys trying to get some shawarma?" Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God!
I got them going 10-7, and I still see them making the playoffs. Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I just think their offensive weapons, even though their defense sucks, but their offense, they have
an awful coach too. He's not the worst head coach in the NFL.
I think Joe Burrow is smart enough to run plays on his own. He don't need.
He doesn't need.
Joe Burrow is such a high IQ guy. He's the most precise quarterback in terms of precision. in the league.
He doesn't need Zach
He's
Taylor.
so accurate. It's crazy. His completion percentage is crazy. I don't think he needs Stefanski to really run the offense. He can call sets himself. And he's been in the league a while now. He's been in big stages. I see him going 10-7, 11-6, making the playoffs. What you say?
I said Stefanski's in Cleveland, wrong Ohio team.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Listen,
if Stefanski was in Cincy, now I would put them as a playoff team.
I will say this, though. Zach Taylor did bring him down. I will say this. He is not the worst head coach in the NFL. That goes to Brian Callahan and the Tennessee Titans.
And we just talked about the Titans. You would have loved last episode. We just talked about the Titans.
Oh, damn. I wish
I wish you were here at AFC South. Yeah, but Zach Taylor.
How about this? I'll watch it on the YouTube. I'll watch it on the YouTube. I got your phone number, DJ. I'll send a text when I.
There you go. Give him a star. Yes.
Automatic feedback. Feedback.
Send to your NFL buddies too and all that.
They're gonna put a national APB. Do not let this man into any stadium or media room.
Yeah.
Hey, prices are too high, man. They got to save somehow. If you ban me, good. That's what less expense.
They said only condition if he pays for his flight and his hotel. That's the only
and his food and his travel and his air mileage and his
car rental
and his boat rental if you got to go across like any lakes if there is any in Ohio. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I'm not good at geography. There's probably a tax in there too that I got paid to learn that in Cincinnati. You know.
Right, so the next team we got, last team, is the Baltimore Ravens, man.
Save the best for last.
Yes, sir. 12-5 last year, lost in the divisional round to Josh Allen and the Bills. Some notes I have, man, is there wasn't really a lot of crazy signings for this team that really stood out to me.
There's one.
Yeah. Oh, for who? Who's you? For
Jair
you?
Alexander.
I was going to say the cornerback. That was the one I really...
Yes, he's been injured, but I still think when healthy, he's a great player. I mean, I would have said DeAndre Hopkins, but let's be real, he's ring chasing.
He's not what he... I was like, this time to when he went to the Chiefs, he's like, oh, we lost the Super Bowl. All right, let me go to the next team.
When I saw he joined the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm not even joking. I texted my friend, and I'm like, so he wants the ring chase.
Yeah.
At this point of his career, though,
he deserves it for the way he left Houston and how the Bill O'Brien basically claimed he was the next version of Aaron Hernandez. That's what he legitimately did. You remember that? How he was like,
Bill O'Brien is back in college.
Oh my God,
where he belongs. Because he should have. If Houston beats Kansas City in 2020, the whole tide of that franchise changes forever.
Oh no question. Well, you can't say that for sure with all the Watson stuff that came out.
But I feel like that would have impacted things because part of, like, not to delve into that, but part of what like made it so messy was the fact that literally was when he was trying to get his contract restructured. He was like, look, I just went toe to toe with Pat Mahomes. Bill O'Brien messed this up, not me. I did everything possible.
And Jack Easterby, you can't forget it. Like, I'm not even like, no, he seems like a nice guy, but let's be real. Like, the dude comes across like the guy who has no experience in what he's doing, and he's just in there because he's a pastor. Like, seriously, I'm not even joking. Like,
we'll get to that another day.
Yeah, we'll get to that another day. But that's legitimately that's legitimately why he was there.
But it changed. Like, it gave winning. When you get to a Super Bowl, and especially if you win, that gives you so much more leverage in contract talks, which will allow things to be blocked out, which will allow things to be swept under the rug. That's all I'm just saying on that matter.
Correct.
It's just because of the collateral of them not winning, it led to everything that ensued. But
speaking of not having been in a Super Bowl, I mean, I know we talked about the Ravens.
I blame John Harbaugh. Honestly, if it wasn't the Ravens, John Harbaugh would have been fired last year.
Yes.
They would have not extended his contract. Well, I don't know why they extended his contract. Like, I guess he's a good coach, but after what I saw last year with Baltimore, I'm out on them as Super Bowl contenders.
Ooh. I mean, I don't blame you.
I do like them this season, though. I think they win the division, but I'm out for them on the playoffs. I'm out for them on Super Bowl. I've given up on them. You
have Lamar Jackson, who's coming off first player in NFL history, 4,000 passing yards, 800 rushing touchdowns. He usurped Michael Vick as the all-time quarterback rushing leader with over 6,000 rushing yards. However, ever since he became the starting quarterback for them when he won the unanimous MVP in 2019 in his second year, only joining Brady as the other player in NFL history to do that. They have yet to make a Super Bowl appearance. He's entering his 8th season now with the team. The last time they made the Super Bowl was in 2013 when they defeated the Niners. I was in 7th grade at that time. That was the Ray Lewis
that was a blackout Super Bowl. That was when there was like a blackout.
That was
I remember.
We still have never gotten an answer from that, by the way, of why there was a blackout.
I grew up in Las Vegas, and my answer is Vegas. That's personally what I was. That's just my that's my hot take. I might get banned from my own city, but I feel like there was.
Yo, I knew the AFC North was gonna be a great episode.
I think there was influence on there, but with Baltimore,
you got a lot of weapons.
I have Baltimore going to the Super Bowl this year, but I really feel like
the colorways that they showed.
You said what?
Is that on the colorways that they showed? Purple.
No. I think it comes down, but it comes down to really comes down to they need to stop psyching themselves out. The problem that they've had these last 2 years, because they've been like literally right there.
Coaching.
They have psyched themselves out by playing out of their identity
and
playing against their strengths, which goes back to coaching.
I'm sorry. I know I hate interrupting. I'm sorry, but can someone please explain to me, like at the end, like everyone was going after Mark Andrews for that drop, but I don't blame him for that. You have King Henry. You signed him to a gigantic contract. He's clutch in these situations. Why don't you give the ball to King Henry?
Exactly.
Hello?
I was looking at the TV like, why aren't you running the ball?
Like, you literally have one of the top running backs in the league.
Is Darrell Bevel the offensive coordinator or something like that? What do you
like? There's a reason they signed Derrick Henry. You brought him in to alleviate pressure off Lamar Jackson. There's a reason, especially in playing cold climates like Buffalo in the winter.
And the worst part is they did that earlier in that season. This is something that no one talks about. They did that earlier in that season. Andrews also dropped that ball in that situation. They did not learn their lesson.
Nope.
That's a damning indictment of coaching here. And yes, Harbaugh's a good coach. There's no denying that. Like I said, Tomlin, good coach. Not denying that. But it was time for a change of scenery. Like I said, if it was me, Tomlin would be employed in Pittsburgh after 2020. For me in Baltimore, if I was in charge, Harbaugh would not be there at all after that playoff game. And I love the pieces on this team. They got a lot of pieces. Not only just on offense, but this defense is still pretty stacked. And it's not just the starters. They have depth pieces. And when I look at this offense too, you still have Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. That's probably one of the best tight end duos. I do wonder what Andrews is going to look like, because after that one drop, it could be a mental thing with him. But
you got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman.
Yep, correct. But remember, Zay Flowers a few years ago during that playoff game, I think against the Chiefs.
It was against the Chiefs,
Yeah, he did not only with that taunting penalty, but with that drop fumble thing.
Yeah,
the mental. He managed to get back and recover from that, which is great.
Yeah.
By the way, Lamar was awful at that final drive too. But going back,
and then the two turnovers he had against the Bills in the playoffs, fumble and interception. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
They play to their strengths. The problem is they keep going against what works for them. I don't know why they've done this so many times, but they have to stick to their formula. They have to stick to their winning ingredient. And if they do that, there is very few teams that are able to match them and go play for play with them.
It's scary. It's scary. Kyle Hamilton at safety with Malachi Starks at safety.
Love that.
That is a killing unit right there.
That was one of the best picks of the entire draft.
Oh, I agree.
Because he slid that far.
I had many will call me crazy here. I had Starks as a top 10 prospect. I thought he was that good.
Top 15, but that top 10 isn't far.
Yeah, I saw him dropping. I'm like, is there like an injury issue going on here? And him getting picked to Baltimore, I'm like, oh my God, that's a great pick.
I couldn't find anything that made sense to why he slipped as far as he did.
I couldn't find anything. I mean,
because he did well. He ran well at the combine.
Yeah.
His film spoke for itself.
That's why I thought there had to be either there were character concerns or injuries.
You know what it might have been, though? It really might have been these teams really just overestimated their secondary depth and was like, we're good. We don't need another safety.
Probably. and Baltimore was like, you know what? Why not? We could use another safety with Kyle Hamilton.
We've had great safeties over the years. Let's get another. Boom.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team.
But here's another thing we got to talk about, too. This is going to be the first year that the Ravens have a new kicker. And let's be honest, Justin Tucker.
Oh, that's right.
He was gone. He was over the hill.
and Tucker declined, too, during his last season. But when everything came out about him, not only did he lose his roster spot, he probably lost any chance of him going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, too.
All the goodwill that he had built, gone.
Yep. And two things, too. I love the fact how, like, the Ravens are always like, oh, we're a pride organization. We're going to keep things right. Don't do this. Don't do that. Yet they got rid of Justin Tucker and all that. Yet they draft Mike Green, who has, like it's hard to keep track how many issues there are. And I like Mike Green, like, on the field.
I have him in my NCAA Ultimate Team. He's a dog.
Oh my God, he is a killer on that game. Here's the thing, though.
Some of the stuff on his, So
I wonder how Tyler Loop is going to perform in this role, because it's going to be so challenging to like Justin Tucker. Yes, declined, but he was so beloved. He was so automatic.
He was on that Super Bowl team.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to adjust in that role.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's going to do, because Baltimore had that backup option at kicker who, well, he wasn't that automatic last year, but
no.
I just wonder how that's going to look. I really do.
I think the thing when you're stepping in for like a legendary kicker, I remember when Steven Gostkowski had to step in for Adam Vinatieri.
And I remember that.
He had his struggles early on, but he was able to eventually find his footing, pun intended. But I think the thing that with Baltimore is that looking at their schedule, they've got a schedule. They're going to be tried and tested, but they're going to have some nice points of the year where pressure isn't going to be on, but they play in a lot of outdoor climates. So that is going to be interesting for a kicker, because it's so different kicking in a dome. Everything is contained versus when you're kicking in inclement weather, you have to deal with already the fans yelling and screaming, players, the intensity on the field, and then cherry on the top, weather being inconsistent up and down. So that's going to be a big part, because them having Justin Tucker was always like, okay, before fourth down, we're set. We got the best kicker in the game. We got the best kicker of the last decade, maybe the best kicker of all time. But that last
I don't know about the best kicker of all time. I still give that to Vinatieri.
I would give. I'm just saying, like, he's in
the conversation, though. He's in the conversation.
Yeah. But now, like you said, it's a new dawn, a new day of having a new kicker. They have to now ensure that their red zone offense is on point, because they don't have the threat of a Tucker.
And the great part about this Ravens team is that's their big weakness, is on special teams with kicker. Like, they don't really have a true well, excluding the coaching stuff, but it's John Harbaugh. He's not going anywhere. But the kicking is the big concern here.
Yeah.
Could I see this team as a Super Bowl team? Maybe. I mean, I've lost all hope in this team because they always shoot themselves in the foot in the playoffs. But I see this team absolutely going to win this division. I think they lock it up by probably week 16 or 17, and they just rest guys. Like, always ensure health. Don't pull a Brandon Staley and just like throw your starters in there week 18, and it results in Mike Williams' career never recovering, and like Justin Herbert being injured
that year.
Joey Bosa
being injured. PTSD. I had him in fantasy that year.
I know. Oh my God. I hate bringing PTSD to you. But besides the kicking,
no, that's all good.
That's the only weakness. And I see this team getting, this might be a little much, I see this team getting with 14 wins this year.
That's my prediction as well.
Okay, good. So I'm not crazy then.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Look,
I got them going 13-4.
The thing I think with them this year is that I feel like they figured out their balance on the offensive side. They figured out how they want to structure the team as a passing offense and as a running offense. But it all comes down to their execution between the numbers, because that is one thing that they've struggled with, given that they've been such a, like, during what was his name? The offensive coordinator that is now in the Chargers.
Oh
my gosh. And he was the one that like implemented the rushing offense. But they don't have him anymore.
Greg Roman.
He was again, so he had to have some type of beef. I mean, some type of intel on the Ravens ownership or something, because I was like, why are you bringing him back when he is handicapping this team? We know they can establish the run. That is not a question. But they need to be able to win passing the ball, because you have too much talent with Lamar, but you're not allowing him to be properly properly utilized. So now this is the best receiving corps that he's played with. I still feel like, and I'm a Celtics fan, I feel like they're allergic to drafting a receiver taller than 6'1". I don't know what it is. Just like my Celtics are allergic to drafting a big man taller than 6'9". I don't know what it is.
I feel so bad for you, by the way.
Oh my God, I don't know why.
Oh, man.
Look, man,
especially a black big man.
At least I've been able to see 2 championships with my Celtics, so it's like I can. Even though
you've seen something, I'm seeing nothing. All I got is a summer league championship. That means nothing, because the summer league is basically a bunch of scrubs and rookies getting adjusted to the league. That's all I got.
Summer league championship. Yeah, I even had a division title. That's crazy.
When I got past the second round.
But
bro, when they posted on ESPN, I was crying.
I feel like with the Ravens, I still would love for them to either get a receiver that, can really go up and get the ball, or, really try to get a superstar receiver, because I like Zay Flowers. Like I was kind of hating on Zay Flowers purposely to see, like, all right, let's see what you do. But to me, he showed he could be like Steve Smith light. I'm talking Steve Smith from the Panthers. Like, that's who I can compare him to.
Steve Smith Sr. or just the Steve Smith without the senior? Because remember when he put senior to the back of his jersey and he started the decline?
Yeah. So I would say more.
He's being out of context.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to reach the same heights and peak that Steve Smith did when he was like on the Panthers, but he can at least be what Steve Smith was on the Ravens. But I still feel like you need that bona fide number one. I know that their offense is not necessarily structured for them to feature a number one receiver like that, because it's so rushing predicated. But I feel like it always makes things easier when you have the threat of a guy that defenses are actually game planning.
Do you think Isaiah Likely will get it? Be the top receiver for Jackson this year? Because I think he's going to take a big step this year.
I think he could, because what he showed to me last year was that he was ready for those big moments. And I was actually very much more feeling like if I'm in fourth quarter situations, I want Likely up there more. Keep Mark Andrews as a blocker and as like a decoy, but he's not reliable enough in those moments where you need him to step up. It's just, we've seen it too many times. I've seen him try to try to hurdle a player and then fumble the ball. And it's like, for what? You're 6'5", go down. Brush your shoulder in. You don't need to do all of that stuff to pick up yardage. And I do feel like Bateman stepped up greatly, because I was a little bit like, I want to see something from you, because I was hyping you up when you were.
Yeah, I was a little off on Bateman too, but he really proved himself this year.
So I'm interested to see what he does, because maybe he becomes that type of guy for them. But I still feel like that is, to me, the only thing that I feel like is missing from the team. But I feel like every other position, they're set. They've got everything you need.
And they got depth.
That too. The fact that they are as deep as they are as a team, and they're retooling, that to me shows that, okay, they're a team that knows what's at stake. They know that they've been right there. They've knocked on the door. It's time for them to walk in. It's time, not just walk in. It's time for them to kick the door down. It's time for them to really
get over the hump.
Yeah, because that, to me, I'm going to say this. With all respect to Pat Mahomes, I think what Lamar does on the football field is like out of this world. Not saying what Pat does isn't either, but the way and ability in which Lamar is able to impact the game as a passer, as a runner, and the ability to keep any play alive. It's Houdini-esque. It's like a magician out there. So I feel like a Super Bowl is going to fully ease out any concern or whatever doubt, anything like that, because he's got every other single hardware you need. There's nothing left for him to prove on an individual level.
Yeah, he just needs that ring. It's basically like he's basically the NFL's
version
of
Allen.
like what Allen. That's another team too. That's a good point too. But basically, Lamar Jackson's basically the NFL version of Allen Iverson, where he's accomplished all these goals. Like there's nothing to prove but a ring, and he never gets it. And I feel like
I don't want to see that happen. Like I'm biased. Like Lamar is my favorite player that isn't on one of my teams. I've been a Lamar fan since he was at Louisville, and he carved my Seminoles up. I was like, this dude is unreal.
Yeah,
but it's just you need that ring, and it. Someone said like with Mahomes and him, it's like Brady and Manning. Of like Brady had all the hardware. It took Peyton a while. Peyton had all the individual accomplishments,
all the stats,
but he didn't have the championship ring. It changes your trajectory so much as a player when you get that ring. When you get that,
and that's in every sport too. Like not me. I always look at stats, but people everywhere look at championships. Like if they looked at stats, London Fletcher would be in the Hall of Fame right now.
He should be. He was a dog.
He was 200. He was one of the first players to have like 200 tackles in a year.
Crazy.
Like the fact that he was never even. I think he was on like a 1 or 2 time Pro Bowl was criminal. But it was so many great linebackers. Unfortunately, so it's like it's just the timing of which he played. But yeah, like the eye test, the stats. Everything checks out for Lamar. The only thing he needs is a Super Bowl. And I think this is the year that he does it. But it's
I know what you're going to say?
I was going to say, but I'm always going to be most worried about who steps up in those fourth quarter moments. And maybe it's DeAndre Hopkins. If DeAndre Hopkins plays anywhere close to the level of what he did in Houston, then that changes everything. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Or
I just don't think that's going to happen. We didn't see that with Kansas City last year.
Yeah, we're probably at ring chaser version of DeAndre Hopkins now, but which sucks. I love Hopkins.
Oh, I love D-Hop. I think D-Hop had some of the greatest hands that I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Yeah. He was one of my favorite parts of Hard Knocks when the Texans were on it, where he basically broke the ankles. Yeah.
Yeah, it was never the same after that. Never the same.
Oh, yeah, because I think he ruptured his Achilles at that play, too. And I remember watching that. I'm like, oh, my God, no wonder why we ruptured his Achilles there. Lesson learned, never talk trash to DeAndre Hopkins because he will destroy your ankles.
He will. So I think this team is a 14-win team. They like you said, they might rest in certain games. So
there's always going to be one game where this team like pulls a Mike Tomlin and plays down the competition. Yeah, last year was against the Raiders, and this year I hope it's against the Jets because I would love to see that.
Said, give me one win. Give me something to look forward to. No, I feel that, and I think because you had mentioned with like the Mark Andrews of how they had tried to utilize him and it didn't work then, and that was the Bills game, where they absolutely spanked and dominated the Bills. And I feel like if they look at their film from that game and they apply it in those moments where they're feeling like, oh my God, we're going to psych ourselves out and shoot ourselves in the foot, what do we do?
I swear.
Remind yourself.
If they get put in the same spot this year and they don't use Derrick Henry again, if I'm Derrick Henry, I would request a trade. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Like, what y'all signed me for if you ain't going to utilize me, and especially in cold weather in Buffalo?
I mean, maybe he could have Marshawn Lynch help explain him that. I mean, he basically went through the same thing. I'm not even joking.
At least Marshawn got a ring. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
One ring. At least he got one ring.
He did.
You know that one. They could have had 2, but
as a Pats fan, I was sweating bullets because I was like, oh, they've won this game. It's over. Like, I don't know when Tom is going to
Pete Carroll said, "Nah, no, I'm gonna give y'all one."
Pete Carroll said, "Hey, I see the coach of New England.
Let me change the play call."
Thank you.
I know.
Butler said, "Give me that."
Yep. And then the Patriots. I feel like maybe people disagree with me here. I think the Patriots dynasty died the moment they like benched Malcolm Butler in the next year's Super Bowl at 52, if I remember correctly. That's the moment I think that the dynasty died.
Yep. Because we won the year after we won the year after, but we were not able to do. We weren't able to do more, despite the fact that we had a better core in 2019.
Super Bowl 53, one of the worst Super Bowls of all time. And
that was
and honestly,
that was my freshman year of college.
It was the first year I boycotted a Super Bowl because that's when the disgraceful NFC Championship game happened. And let's be honest here, that game was absolutely rigged. You cannot see that. You're looking at that. That game was 100% rigged. Why? And this is my conspiracy theory side.
Give Brady a easy ring?
No, they wanted to make Brady look strong, and the LA market was struggling as well at the time. Because remember, when the Rams moved to LA, they weren't attracting the LA market. And I remembered when the Rams won the game, they saw people videoing the bars. They weren't like jumping for joy, excitement. They were like, yes, like that. Like, chillax, so that sort of attitude. They wanted the Rams in there.
Yeah.
Just so that they could secure the LA market. And look at the Rams now. They're I think they're the number 2 or 3 valued team in the NFL. And I think a big reason why is because they were at that Super Bowl. And then eventually the stadium deals got done.
Yep. Because the Chargers moved to LA right after.
Yeah, which is a terrible decision, and they need to go. That was an awful decision. And whatever, I don't think they're ever going to go back to San Diego. They should, but they can't stay in LA either because they're paying rent to the Los Angeles Rams to play in their games.
And that's why
no NFL team should be paying rent.
Not one bit.
Yeah, that's when you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals don't pay rent at all to their stadium, or their. I don't know about their practice facilities because I've heard mixed things about that.
If they can't even pay for the hotel and flights of their legends, they're not paying anything in the practice stadium.
All right, fellas. Any last thoughts before I close out the show?
I still think though this is the ultimate bloodbath division. I do still say this is the strongest division in football. It's between this and the NFC North. I think there's the strongest amount of actual competition, and there's going to be the most amount of competition in terms of who emerges.
You could argue the AFC West is.
That's what I said too. Yeah. I said that earlier.
Okay, DJ was saying
AFC
that
West.
too.
I was saying that earlier.
Yeah, but
I feel like those are the 3 top divisions: AFC North, NFC North, and AFC West are the top.
I'm not mad
Correct.
At that is a strong bulk of talent.
Correct. They're not like the AFC South level of awfulness, or maybe NFC South.
Oh
my God.
The South in general is just bad.
I'm glad you said that instead of me.
I'm not afraid to say nothing.
The South does not have something to say right now. Unfortunately, I love the South, but the South does not have something to say. So.
Yeah. Hey, they got really nothing to say right now.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I had to sit and watch Atlanta get better. That was painful. Oh, my God. I was like, if there's any team I know to fold and do, shoot themselves in the foot, it's the Falcons. But then I'm like, wait, they're drafting well and they already have a good team? Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Honestly, Dylan, if it makes you feel better, I really don't know about Michael Penix. I don't know about that guy. I still don't think he's proven.
Can he stay healthy?
Not only that, but I don't think they have a good coach at all. Like Morris he's a solid defensive coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach. And
I don't know. I was intrigued on him being a coach because I thought he was more of a coordinator, but I feel like the difference is they don't have the stench of Arthur Smith there. So at least he's like, okay, I saw what Arthur did wrong.
Not do that.
What to do right. I had Bijan Robinson in fantasy and Drake London last year.
Yeah,
they went off for me, so I'm intrigued to see what happens with a full year of Penix because Kirk Cousins,
he's done.
I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew that wasn't.
And why did they give him a max contract and then draft a? Oh well, there goes his microphone.
I do not understand that move at all because it's like you have other team needs. Why? I'm not even. I'm like I live in Atlanta, but I'm not an Atlanta sports fan, so I'm just confused and befuddled. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And all my Falcons friends were like, I don't know what just happened.
And to make matters worse, Kirk Cousins tears his Achilles, and you're
stuck with that
contract.
And you still have to pay him guaranteed.
And I don't even think he wants to play in Atlanta too.
No. I don't think he wanted to leave Minnesota.
I don't think so either. I will not be shocked, by the way, when they get rid of him. He just goes back to Minnesota, or he'll play, knowing NFL teams and his like money making and like his bank accounts, like he'll get another fully guaranteed like contract.
He's set for life.
Oh my God, his generations are set.
His agent though. I need an agent like that one day.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm not even an elite quarterback and I'm getting all this bread.
Oh, I need some agents like that, because the fact that he was able to get not one but 2 guaranteed contracts.
I think 3. I think 4 if you want to count the 2 franchise tags that he got when he was with
He's set for life.
So yeah, he's set for life. Hey, Kirk, if you're listening to this right now, if you want to donate, send me a message on social media. I could
DM us, email us, something.
Hey, Kirk, if you're listening to this, if the Cincinnati Bengals call you, put your phone down, because they need a lot of help. They need a lot of help.
Well, they got Jake Browning on there. I don't think it would be a good idea for them to get Kirk Cousins.
I'm saying, like, to have him pay for the flights and to pay for the hotel.
Imagine if, like, he buys into ownership of the Bengals team.
I'm sure the owner will be like, yeah,
I don't know what to do with it. I might as well put my hat in the ring. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see the AFC North battle, because
they're gonna have their division games are so fun. Even though I'm not a big fan of the Bengals and the Browns this year, those 2 teams go 100%. They go all in.
It's the in-state rivalry, you know.
Yeah, and like people say the Packers and the Bears are one of the top rivalries of all time. No, it's Steelers Ravens. Stop it.
Oh, that's blood.
Yeah, that's a rivalry too.
That's blood right there.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, even though the Ravens don't have the same generations of history, it's no love at all.
Technically, they kind of doing.
Well, they were going off
into Cleveland, like the old Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Until they went to Baltimore, because Baltimore had a team. And they were originally the Baltimore Colts.
And then they moved
and then they
back
went to
like
Indianapolis.
95, 96. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So I know that Steelers and Ravens rivalry is no joke. Every Steelers fan I know and every Ravens fan I know, when those 2 games happen every year, it's war.
I'm shocked, Patrick.
I'm shocked. That's why Ravens coming out on top, baby.
That's why I'm shocked.
Ravens lock.
That's why I'm shocked Patrick Queen left Pittsburgh just to go to Baltimore. Like
that,
you have a
something must
target
have
on your back.
Something must have happened that he went through behind the scenes, because I was puzzled too. I was like,
2 words.
I understand
1 word. I don't know if this is 1 word or 2 word. Ready? Low ball.
Yeah, probably because you do see, like, it used to be almost sacrilegious to see like teams move divisional players, but a move to that franchise from that franchise, something happened. But I could very well see it being you guys are trying to lowball me and not pay me for what I'm actually worth. So
exactly,
it's gonna be interesting though. There's gonna be a lot at stake, and there's gonna be a lot of intensity that we as fans, we get to enjoy.
And probably a lot of firings, hopefully, if depending
I'm sure
on
Nicholas will be happy for
the
that.
Bengals and the Browns.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great episode. That's all the episodes for the AFC. Make sure you guys tune in for the NFC. We're going to do that coming probably Sunday or Monday. Fellas, let people know where they can find your work and socials before we log off.
Okay. Well, first off, DJ, thank you as always for having me on the show. It was a blast, and everyone you connect me with is great. They know so much about sports. Great to talk to. So, Nick, appreciate you for coming in. I haven't laughed like that in a couple of days, but I appreciate it, man. And you guys can follow me at Quan_solo. That's in the description right there. You can also follow my podcast page, Chilling with Dylan. 1229 Sports, Music, and Life. I cover a variety of things, trying to get more active. I'm currently in grad school right now, so that's the only reason why things have been a little bit not as active, but I'm hitting the ground running, so I'm happy to collab, happy to do whatever possible to continue to exercise this muscle. I eat, sleep, and breathe sports, so whatever it is, just let me know and we can make it happen.
Dude, that's cool that you're in trust me, when I went to grad school to get my master's degree, it was rough. So Good on you. Hey, I got it done. I got my master's degree.
There you go.
So,
Look, as long as you get it done, that's what everyone's been telling me. They're like,
so first off, thank you so much for allowing me to part of this. And if you ever need me for another show, let me know.
Yeah,
I mean, you got my number.
Definitely got it.
Yes. And if you want to follow me on social media, it's just my name, at Nicholas Mullick. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook now. I got to get more active on there. I've been slacking. Sorry. 9 to 5s are kind of rough now. Oh, God. My boss is going to be in trouble now. I'm also on the LinkedIn as well if you want to find me there. But yeah, I write for different platforms as well. I'm on Stadium Rant. I'm on Total Apex Sports as well. I've been writing for them lately. Yeah, you can find me anywhere. I even have a podcast as well. If you want to check it out at Stadium Rant. So if you have time, if you want to go over to YouTube, you can find me on there. I'm on various podcasts. I'm on like hockey once in a while, football once in a while. Basically anything that covered college sports, pro sports. Like, I'm there. So, yeah, thank you again, DJ, so much. And yeah, I got to watch that AFC South podcast, like I promised.
Oh yeah,
I will watch that, and I will send you a review via text.
We were a little bit nicer, even though like it wasn't much nice things to talk about with them. But
nah, it was the worst division. Honestly, I was like, Dylan, let's hurry up and do this one.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to get to the AFC North, and that's when Nicholas hit me up saying, "Oh, I'm done." I was like, "Oh, let me add Nick to this."
Yeah, I would have joined earlier, but unfortunately, meetings are a thing that I got to do nowadays, and I kind of want to keep my role, so I can't miss that.
Hey, you gotta do what you got to do, man.
Of course.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was a great episode here on the DJ Sports Show. Full as all the AFC divisions now for you guys. We'll come at you next week with the NFC. I'm your host DJ Hampton, DJ Sports Show, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.